All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between MOA choices when it comes to green dot optics. I'm just making sure the gun is unloaded because I wanted to take off the slide. So here you have the Holosun 407K green dot optic in a 6 MOA, which is my preferred choice. Of course, when you see the green dot, it's not going to, if I can catch it, it's not going to look as accurate in person as it does in the video. It looks really tiny right there, but looking through the reticle window, it's a dot that's maybe about maybe about that maybe about that big. So it's not a huge dot. It doesn't take up the whole window of the reticle, but the reason why I prefer the 6 MOA is because in retrospect the 3 MOA or 2 MOA, it just seems a little bit too small. You know, when you're going to present your weapon, and especially in a quick scenario where you have to act quickly and you need to acquire a target quickly, it's easier when you have a dot that's easier to see. The bigger is easier to see, but bigger isn't always better. But I think 6 MOA for that particular reason, especially when it's everyday carry situation. 6 MOA, you're going to see it a lot quicker. Your eyes are going to pick up on that dot a lot quicker than it will with a 3 MOA or 2 MOA. I preferably go with green dot because green, it's a brighter hue. It's easier to see, especially in daytime. Some people don't like the green because they shoot outdoors, and sometimes it kind of camouflages in with the green background with trees and whatnot. But I haven't had that problem. I don't plan on, defending myself in the forest anytime soon. But I'm pretty sure if I do, it's not going to be an issue for me. So there's also different options when it comes to reticles. You know, some Holosun, some red dot, green dots in general, they make 2 MOA dot or a 3 MOA dot surrounded by like a 32 MOA circle. It's kind of similar to how you might see in like a Call of Duty when they have their red dot. It's a circle with the dot in the middle. Some people like that. I'm not really a big fan. I think it gets a little bit too busy looking through the window if you have the circle and the dot, and I think you can kind of pick up on your target a little bit quicker if it's just the dot that you're focusing on. When you're focusing on your target, but you're putting the dot on target, and it's easier to do so when you can see it like that. And I think the window also kind of reduces your visual acuteness because you're not going to be able to see certain things on the outside. If you're, let's say, target shooting, for instance, and you wanted to hit a certain spot, that 32 MOA circle might be covering something that you're trying to shoot. So I think just having the dot itself is more beneficial. Of course, there's different companies you can go with. I went with the Holosun because it's very popular. I thought it was going to be very dependable, and it actually, it fits the gun with an optics plate. I did have to get an optic plate. This is an RMR cut slide, but the actual green dot is a K cut from Holosun, so the screws are actually in a different placement than the screws on the slide. I wanted to mount it directly, but the screws on the slide are right here. The screws on the Holosun are about right here. So it's a little bit far back. So the optics plate, it just allows you to mount it using the original screw placement. And then it's actually got this particular plate. I really like it because the posts for the Holosun actually stick up a little bit. So when you're placing the green dot onto the plate, you're actually placing it onto these little posts that stick up, and it creates more stability, so less chance of it rocking loose during shooting, and it just creates more of a tightness here. Like you might not even need Loctite. I put Loctite on it just because that's what the instructions call for, but you might not actually need Loctite with those posts, but of course follow the instructions whenever we can. So of course, whatever is your preference. You might go with a 2 MOA, 3 MOA, 6 MOA. Haven't really found too many dot options in an 8 MOA. They probably exist. I just don't see too many. But try them out and give them a try when you go looking at green dots. Test out the 3 MOA versus 6 MOA. Those are the two most popular choices. 6 MOA green dot usually is going to cost a little bit more than the red dot. I believe the same model with a red MOA was about $30 or $40 less than the green dot. So do keep that in mind, but preference is preference, and I do love the way the green dot looks. So like I said, I do prefer the 6 MOA over the 3 MOA because, like I said, it is a lot easier to pick up that target, especially if you're in a panic situation, you're going to draw your weapon, you might not be able to think about much except for trying to defend yourself. And what's better to defend yourself than being able to hit your target when you need to? So I definitely think the 6 MOA helps you acquire that target much quicker. Green versus red dot. Green just helps me see it a lot better. I think it's better for everybody, honestly. It's more visually noticeable than the red dot, especially in a 3 MOA, which sometimes you might have to look for against certain surfaces like, you know, brick, maybe something that's like a similar color to the red that you might be shooting towards. So that's the main difference for me with red dot, 6 away green dot versus 3 MOA red dot. So what's your choice? Let me see what you got.